we'll see if that
with porn
works.
stars.
This is better.
Look at that.
Thanks for listening and watching.
Okay, we are live coast to coast, border to border on iHeartRadio today. And after a little bit of technical issues living in the vortex, we have got a great guest with us today. She joins us live here on our big broadcast. And Carmela Clutch is with us today. And I think I spoke with you maybe 10 years ago.
Uh,
Something
closer,
like that.
probably closer to six, but yes, we have
Yeah.
spoken before. Thank you for having me back. I appreciate you.
Yes. Yes. You have a and I can say this with all the confidence in the world. You have a PR person who is not crazy. So that is
Shout out
that
to
is
Lainey.
why we
Thank
are
you so
speaking here
much.
today.
Yes, thank you so much, Lainey, for setting this up. Honestly, she
Yes,
is
yes,
phenomenal.
she is amazing. She seems to be busier than a fruit merchant these days, which is
Absolutely
a
true.
very good thing.
I'm s- I'm so excited to have her on the team. Most of my team is female, which is great.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
So,
Girl power.
Carmela Clutch is with us today. She joins us live here on our big broadcast, and she is amazing.
Thank you.
And so, Carmela, first of all, talk to me a little bit about how you got your name. Because for the folks that have never either seen you or heard you on our program or are new to you, you have a very unique name. So
Thank you.
the whole Clutch thing, because if you don't put Carmela in front of Clutch and you search for it on the internet, you will find the band Clutch. You
Hmm. Yeah,
so
and there's a lot of other things, clutches for cars and stuff. It was a
yes.
nickname given to me at a model house, actually. Um, Before I got into the industry, I had a, little part time where I would help content creators, and at this particularly at this model house. And anytime a girl lost her ID or her vape, or she was having some kind of crisis, maybe she told her family what she started doing for a living. I was kind of always there to coach and guide them. I'm At the time I was 30 years old coming into the industry, so I had a little bit more life experience, and I think being able to foster new talent and help them in a time of crisis, it's what gave me my nickname Clutch, because I would always come through clutch. That being said, there were girls that
Uh,
like avoided getting arrested. Like I really,
yeah,
tried to do
avoided
their thing.
getting arrested.
Well, the officer released her into my care instead of taking her to a drunk tank, and still very grateful for that. You know, that's how I got my nickname.
That is awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. Carmela Clutch is with us today on our big broadcast. And of course, because Carmela Clutch is with us and she is a porn star, that means you are listening to a rousing, action packed edition of Fucking Around with Porn Stars. And we have got a good one with us today. Last I checked on the old Twitter machine, you have 471,000 followers. Holy shit. That is
Yes, I
amazing.
do. I'm humbled every day by it. I honestly, my fans are the greatest. You guys keep me motivated. Thank you.
That is amazing. So, when talk to us a little bit about this. When did you get on Twitter, and how long ago has all this been going for you?
I made my Twitter May of 2019. I didn't know what I was doing. I had never had a Twitter before. I didn't know anything about social media. Even though I have a background in marketing and advertising, social media was still so new. We didn't know what avenues to use it for, let alone in relation to the adult industry. So I had no idea what I was doing. But I just kind of try and keep it. I still don't think I know what I'm doing, but I still try and keep it as authentically myself as possible. I do have guidance. I have a team, social media team that helps me. Samantha, shout out Samantha, who helps and guides me. If hey, does this the wording sound right? How does this picture look? Can you help me edit that? And I'm grateful to have them around because yeah, I wouldn't be knowing what I was doing otherwise.
That is awesome. That is awesome. It is Carmela Clutch. She joins us today here on our big broadcast. And you are very busy. Looking at all of your stuff, you are fantastic. Talk to us a little bit about some of the things you've been up to lately.
So this past year or so, I've been working on getting back to my roots of content creation. That's where I started. I went from content creation to mainstream, and mainstream has been fun, but I learned so much. I kind of wanted to bring that back into my content where I could have a little bit more control over the narrative of the type of roles I play and the people I get to work with, which has been a really fun adventure. And I have a lot of projects coming down the pipeline that are going to be. Can't really say too much about it, but suffice it to say, it's what everyone's already been asking for. I'm doing that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thanks.
That's awesome. We have got Carmela Clutch with us today. She, of course, is on OnlyFans. She has got a Manny Vids page, which that's I bet you're having a lot of fun over there on Manny Vids with the rest of us, and there we need to get you out of the business as soon as humanly possible since you helped build our site. You need to get the hell off of it. What do you think about this? With the fact that Manny Vids, here's the thing. I did not know anything about Manny Vids. Didn't even know this thing existed until we started getting into the whole content creation part of it. And people are like, "Oh, you need to get on Manny Vids," and I'm like,
Hmm.
"The hell is a Manny Vids?" And then all of a sudden, there's this email that goes out to all these creators a couple weeks ago that goes,
Hmm.
"We're going to help you get out of sex work." Have you seen this email?
My assistant pointed it out to me, and we kind of had a good giggle about it. We laughed about it because I have multiple college degrees. I can do other things. I chose this field. If I wanted to be out of it, I would have.
You just leave.
I just leave. I have options. I'm not doing this because I want, like, this is the only option. No, I choose to do this because I enjoy the way that I get to embrace my femininity, my sexuality. And to be honest, I'm just capitalizing off of the way society has sexualized me since I was a child. You mad? No. I mean,
That's
like, what?
amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah, you know?
So, yeah. Well, it's much like the OnlyFans thing, where OnlyFans got built, and then all of a sudden they decide, hey, we want to sell this company. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, fuck, we can't because all these porn
Lest
people.
lest we remind you about Tumblr. Do y'all remember Tumblr? Okay then. Okay then. I mean, realistically, they wanted I guess like celebrities to have OnlyFans, and I'm sure a lot of them do, especially now. But if you were founded on sex work and people are know you for sex work, why then get rid of sex workers? And why make it increasingly more challenging for us to sell our content on there if that's the bread and butter? But I ultimately, at the end of the day, to backpedal just a little bit, I am really grateful for platforms like this because people like myself, models like myself who started beyond the prime or with a different body type would never have been given a voice or platform um, if it wasn't for platforms like OnlyFans and ManyVids.
Yeah.
So I ultimately am grateful, and it allows the fans to have more of a voice of what they get to see. So many fans tell me all the time, "Oh, I'm so tired of this type of girl, that type of girl. I need to see this or that." And the only place they can find it are on these platform sites. There's a stroke for every folk, a cream for every Twinkie. I'm just trying to cream Twinkies here, okay? I'm doing the
That is
Lord's
awesome.
work.
That is awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. Carmela Clutch is with us. She is live with us today here on Fucking Around with Porn Stars on the Skyhawk After Dark Radio Network. And of course, you can find our videos at jiggyjaguar.info. And if you are watching us on video, There is a QR code that you will see, and if you scan that, you will go directly to Carmela's Twitter, and you can follow her instantly. And she joins us today here on our big program. So, uh, you have got a lot of things happening. I go through your Twitter, I scroll through all the various things you got going on. Um, I have to have you explain this photo you took back in November. Is this a giant bag of pot you're holding? What in the fuck is this?
Yes.
That is amazing.
Okay. Guilty, but it is legal in the state that I'm in. So, there. Listen, I am a very avid recreational user, and I think my fans know this about me. Around my birthday, I was talking about how much I love this particular brand of marijuana. They're called Presidential. They haven't paid me for any of this, by the way. I just
Yeah.
really love their products. And they invited me to come over to their weed factory, and I like as an extra special, birthday gift, and for giving them a shout out online. And yeah,
That's
I
amazing.
went, and it was incredible. The people who work there, I mean, they're so humble, so kind, and they're doing God's work. Honestly, I think there's a special place for them in heaven. Like,
That is fantastic. We
all
have
right.
got Carmela Clutch with us today. So besides the and we'll get into that. I guess that's where we'll start with this. But besides the porn thing, because it seems
Mhm.
like all these marks and all these fans, they think that all the porn people do all day is just be porn people. Whereas you guys are doing a little bit more than that. Hell, you just got done, and there's Giovanni, classically late. But
Always, baby, always.
you were just telling me that you have a you like the hippie lettuce, as Jim Rome would say. You're a big pot person. What are some of your other interests
um,
besides
Besides
the
recreational
porn thing?
gardening, I like the
And
actual gardening with pot and soil and plants. I love to paint. I love to sketch. I journal. I like to read. I like creative outlets. I sing, not very well, but I sing for fun. I have my hands in a lot of different projects because it's really hard for me to stay still for long periods of time. So I really like creative outlet processes. And for more physical activity, I like yoga and jogging and weight training.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
thanks.
Whoa.
So, so if we have to talk weight training, I have to ask you:
Here
Are
it
you into
comes. I knew, I knew,
kettlebells?
I knew this was coming.
Are
Oh
you into
As soon as you
boy.
said
kettlebells?
weight training, I knew
Do
where we
you,
were
do
headed.
you do kettlebells?
Yes.
Ah, there you go. We got
Yes. Yes, I
you
do.
know. As I travel around the world, it seems
Sure.
either throwing parties or doing these content shoots. I
Hmm.
always check out the hotel gym. 99% of
Hmm.
the time I never use the hotel gym. I have only found one hotel gym in the entire country so far that has kettlebells. It's amazing.
Really, because most of
Usually
the
they
gyms
have a weight
fail.
bench, a treadmill, and some
The weight bench,
dumbbells, and
the
that's about it.
I don't
yep.
know. I've been to a few with kettlebells as
Oh my
options,
God! I've
I
got to,
have.
I've
and
got to,
yeah, and I
I've
love
got to
kettlebells
find
because
these places.
depending on the exercise that you're doing, it can be actually really great for your pelvic floor, which, as we know, is how we stay nice and tight in between scenes. So we
There
love
it
any kind of
is.
pelvic floor
There it is.
exercises. Hip thrust. We go. We can get into it.
I love it. I,
So are you one of these? Are you one of these ladies that goes to the gym and the only exercises you're concerned with are things that are going to do your hips, legs, and butt, and then you leave?
No, that's
Because
not
I've run into a
normal.
million of these. I've seen a million of these
No.
women in gyms all over the country.
While it is true that my focus does tend to be lower body because that's the moneymaker. Let's face it. I'm known
Yeah,
for my
that
ass.
yep.
I cannot have lunch lady arms. I cannot. That's what some people at the gym call it. I cannot have.
I've
I
never
have to
heard
work
of
on
that. It's
my.
amazing.
I have to work on my back. And I think my male followers and fellow gym buddies always tell me that like if they see a woman and their back is nice and defined, not like super ripped, but nice and defined, they know that that girl is an actual gym rat girly. So at the gym, you can find me doing yoga, but you can also find me doing HIIT workouts, which is kind of a full body plus the cardio aspect. You can find me on the treadmill, and then you can find me just in general using weights. So I'll be on machines, and I'll
I was
also
waiting for
do
you to
some
say that
squats.
you deadlift. So I
That,
thought,
that
oh
I
my
was kind
god,
of
I
I was
have
waiting for her to say that too. I was like, all right,
I
she's gonna say she
have
deadlifts.
I absolutely have in the past, but I've noticed that sometimes it'll build my traps up just a little too much for my own liking on my body. So I've been avoiding those and doing other things like Bulgarian split squats. Those will give me
wow.
Whoa,
great lift in the nether region, while still
nether
giving
region.
me a good workout without doing the shoulders. Yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
yeah.
We have got
Thanks.
Carmela Clutch with us today. She joins us live here on our big program, of course, fucking around with porn stars. And if you are watching us on any of our video platforms, which is BitChute, Rumble, Clout Hub, Jiggy Jaguar.info, you will see that we have a new little tool. It is a QR code. If you scan that QR code, you will be able to go follow our guest, Carmela Clutch, on the Twitter machine.
I love that
So
Twitter machine.
that's a cool little deal. I wish I could change the duck out of the middle, but apparently since StreamYard's gimmick is a duck, I can't remove the duck. But
Cannot
that's
remove the duck.
can't remove the duck. Not even if we pay extra, can't remove the duck.
We have tried.
The duck stays. But Carmela Clutch is with us today. So, Giovanni,
Yes.
and you'll find this funny because you'll know exactly who I'm talking about when I say this. About 6 or 7 years ago, I had Carmela Clutch on this radio program. Not on this show. It was because fucking the porn stars didn't technically exist 6 years ago. It
Back
was the
in the
Jiggy Jaguar.
EOT
No,
days, yeah.
it was
But
just
I
the Jiggy Jaguar show.
It was just
yes,
the Jiggy Jack. That's right.
I
Yeah.
booked
Mhm.
her through a PR person who is crazy,
Oh
and
my
Mhm.
goodness. Oh,
I know, and you
oh,
probably know who I'm speaking of. Thank God today, Lainey is her PR person, and Lainey is not crazy.
I love Laney.
I love
So
Lainey.
everyone knows who I'm speaking of.
I had
Um,
PTSD the last time, not from the show, but from my
Oh my
hey,
God.
we
Oh yeah.
do too, and
experience.
we just saw this woman in August. So
Well, listen, I have to work with all the time. So, and I'm so grateful that I got Lainey's information, and she has been such a blessing and so inspiring. I love her.
she is
You
amazing.
know, it was
Yeah.
interesting, Carmela. You talk about, people that you kind of meet in this industry and you sort of like kind of you talk PTSD. Um,
Yep.
that the mutual person we're all talking about here. Um, I was I'm talking many moons ago. I basically interned for her years and years and years ago, and I will
Ooh,
never
glutton
forget.
for punishment.
I
Sorry,
it was,
masochist.
No,
and
you
I'm
go
the
I'm
funny
ahead.
thing
No,
is
no,
masochist.
no.
the funny thing is I'm not a masochist, and so I definitely, I mean, I'm Catholic, so I guess there's a little bit of the martyr type situation there.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but it was interesting because I sat there and I remember one time I had suggested to her, I said, and this was years ago. I said, we ought to really talk about getting a booth at Exotica.
Mhm.
I said, and we'll just have the clients there, and they can meet the fans, and then they can network and all that. And immediately,
Right.
I barely got that sentence out on the phone call, and she goes, "If you ever say that again, I'm gonna chop off your left testicle. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Nobody goes to Exotica. That's just dumb. You're fucking an idiot. And don't ever suggest that again." And I'm like, okay, well, a no would have been good. Uh, no
you
would have
know, you know,
sufficed.
you know, and to pivot just slightly, but with the same thing in mind,
Yes.
I I really enjoy, one of the things I love most about this industry is being able to work for myself and work with the people that I want to work with,
There
like
you
the
go.
Laneys, like the Samanthas,
We love
like
Lainey.
the people, yeah, the people that I know and love and I feel comfortable working with. So, kudos to her for having her own business and being able to run it the way that she wants. I don't do
There's that.
business like that. I don't like to put people down, each their own. And, I am grateful to this industry because it does allow people to have personal autonomy over their own schedule, who they work with, and how.
Yep. Yeah, and on top
Speak.
of that too,
Sorry.
we're talking about. Well, no, hold on. We're talking about the autonomy, and we talk about that. I think the other part of it too, to kind of like stretch that out a little bit is, it allows us also to find new creative outlets with people that we're kind of either on a similar wavelength or we feel okay. This person gets what I'm doing, and maybe you've never met that person before, and they introduce you to something new, whether it's a fetish or a kink or some other thing you haven't thought of before.
Mm.
And I find that to be, one of the greatest rewards of this industry is that you just meet people who introduce you to new stuff all the time. I'm continually surprised and always finding like a situation that turns into something that's hotter than you had thought possible in terms of
Oh, yeah.
scenes or what have you. So I get you, Carmela. I think that's fantastic way to look at it.
Mhm.
And just so that Jiggy and I still do have my left testicle, so I'm still good.
Okay.
She did
But
not
just
take
wanted to make sure, I was going to ask you at the end of this if you would just turn your head and cough, and that way I
Yeah,
could just
exactly right.
verify.
That is
But
awesome.
thank you for confirming.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure
That
everybody
is
knew
awesome.
Yeah, well,
That
we
is
all.
awesome.
Thank you.
So, so Carmela Clutch is with us today. She joins us live here on our big broadcast, and of course, Carmela has a marketing degree.
Mhm.
And so we now have, and Giovanni knows exactly where I'm going with
Oh my
this.
Lord, have mercy.
Oh,
We have to have this conversation with Carmela, especially because Carmela started out as a content creator and then she went into
mhm.
mainstream
Hmm.
porn.
Yeah.
Something that me and Giovanni recently have gotten into, I wouldn't say gotten into trouble, but we've had to educate some folks on,
Oh yeah.
is there are these Telegram groups. Everybody knows about the Telegram groups that are running around, and they got
Yep.
65 foreign people in them, and everybody
Yeah.
chats and all the stuff.
Mhm.
So we got into a conversation with someone one day about the fact that there is all these various people that are in the content creation part of it where they think that their preference is their brand and their brand is their preference.
They're not
Okay.
discerning the two. Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, it's a lot of the chicks that are in the group that love the black guys with abs, and that's all they'll film with, and they'll be like,
Okay.
"Oh, that's my brand," and it's like, well, it's not really your brand; it's your preference. Giovanni,
Mhm.
jump in there and give her a little bit more information because we definitely
So
have to
we
have
had,
her as
yeah,
a
Okay.
and I'm
marketing
glad you do.
person.
So welcome to the club. I also have a marketing degree from Texas A&M University. So I will tell you this. So what happened on the discussion was that I basically said this, and they were like, "Well, that is my," she and I started getting into this. Like it actually started off as a very academic debate. I'm like, "Well, I get what you're saying." I told the young lady, I said, "But here's the thing." I said, "If all you ever do is film with Martians from Mars, and you never film with Neptune people from Neptune, but all you do is film with people from Mars."
Neptune people from Neptune.
I said, and then you sell only videos on ManyVids, maybe your Chatterbait, maybe your MFC Share, clips for sale, loyal fans, just for fans, and all that. I said, maybe that's all you ever share. That's all you ever sell is you're having sex with Martians. You're not having sex with the Neptunian folk. I said,
Mm.
so if all you do is serve me that to order and to purchase, I don't know that you do anything else. I said, so you kind of taking it, it's not that that's your brand, that's your preference of what you choose to sell. And
Mhm.
then, I said, so how do you, they were like, well, it will never sell. If I were to like, the girl goes, well, if I were to fuck the guy from Neptune, it wouldn't sell. And I said, how
Okay.
do you know? You never film it.
Okay.
And I said, you never market it. You never talk about it. I said, so if you never offer up that particular item as a shopping cart item, how do I ever know if that's something that is actually going to work for me. And they, and it turned and it ballooned into this thing where people were like, well, that I said, well, then there's a difference. If that's your preference is to work with that person, that's a preference, not a brand. You as a brand are the things like the logo, the voice of who you are, your color palette, how you interact with your customers, your fan base, your fellow
Mm-hmm.
stars, how
Mm-hmm.
you portray yourself when you go to an event, a showcase, a
Yeah.
conference, or whatever.
Correct.
I
Yes.
said, so preference is one thing. I said, but if you never sell me the other item, how do you even know if it's going to work? And because I asked her flat, I said, do you ever sell anything? Do you ever make anything else? No. And I said, okay, then you don't know. You don't know if it'll sell. I said, so it's not a brand, it's a preference. I said, your brand is all these other things. I said, you're choosing to sell these items as a catalog piece.
Okay.
I said, so we kind of got into that discussion. So I was kind of wondering what your take is, because I see that you work with a diverse range of people. And I love all your work. So I was kind of wondering, where do you land on? Do you see it as a preference? Do you see it as a brand identity thing? Where kind of like do you take it as a marketer? Like if you only choose to work with this type of person only, do you feel like that's your brand, or does that become just part of your overall shtick? You're just what you're offering as a product.
So I particularly love this question because there was a point at my career at which people accused me of only working with Martians and not Neptunians. And the truth of the matter was there were a large amount of Martians on my game tape. However, they were the only ones who were willing to shoot with my body type at the time. Supply demand. I wanted to
Exactly.
shoot with Neptunians, but most Neptunians flat out told me I can't sell what you look like, and I don't know what to do with all the curve. It's too much. I'm
Oh my
used to
God, they did that. Okay,
this.
yeah.
I'm used to this, and I don't know what to do with all of this. And I'm like, okay, well, if it won't sell for you, I can't force you into it. That's the whole point of being able to be in this industry. However, she is sorely mistaken and missing out. My approach to it was, damn, I have all these fans that tell me all the time, Carmela, I love your work. You are so gorgeous. I want to do all these things to you, but I can't imagine you because I look nothing like that. And that's what really, when it clicked to me, oh shit, I'm missing out just because. I mean, like, I get it. Like, there are times
Yeah.
where I'm watching a girl in a porn because she reminds me of myself. And if I can't imagine myself with this person, when I'm,
Yep.
so for me, that was the point where it clicked for me that I wanted to provide more variety. And thank you for noticing that there is variety in what
Yeah.
I film. I think she's missing out by not having a wider variety, but it may very well be if she had told me that she tried it and it doesn't sell for her no matter what. Okay, I know for a fact that if I'm going to shoot with Martians, they have to have a certain look and aesthetic in order for me to sell. If they are not tall and ripped, it does not work. If I work with a Neptunian, he can have a different type of body type. It could be a dad bod. He could be older. He could be younger. There are different things that work that sell in that division for my brand. Younger, maybe I'm playing a MILF.
That's a
Older,
good
maybe
point. Yeah.
he's the DILF. You know, there are things that work with that brand. But to say that your preference is your brand, that's inaccurate. I do tend to agree with you. Your brand is choosing what color to wear on camera because you know that that's what your fans are used to seeing you in, and that's what they
Exactly.
want to see you in. Spicy Latina,
Spicy
red,
Latina. Yeah. Yeah. Como quiere.
red,
Yeah.
red and
I
leather.
and
Okay, cool.
yeah. And so, and I totally get that. And I think that that's a really a great way to look at that too, is because I feel oftentimes that by accident, not
Mhm.
by anything else, but sometimes by happenstance, I think you kind of touched on it, which is where the performer ends up getting, I mean, typecast is a word for it. Pigeonholed is
Yes,
kind of what I actually
yes,
say for adult industry. You can kind of get pigeonholed, like
yes.
that's all you ever do is you work with Martians and never a Neptunian, maybe never even somebody from Jupiter. But you end up just solidly in that lane. And
Absolutely.
it's like it's not the performers, honestly. Sometimes it's not the performer's fault. It can be an issue of the agent or the studios, like, oh well, that's all I've ever seen her work with.
Yeah,
So, and then they kind of
absolutely.
get in that. So yeah, no, thank you I do appreciate the
That's okay.
clarification on that. I'm glad we pontificated on the topic.
And to circle it around, that is the whole great thing about content. Studios kept shooting me as a MILF and literally added makeup to me to make me look bad, to make me look
Oh my
aged and
God.
weathered. And my fans were like, "You look like you're in your 20s." And I'm like, "I'm 37. Well, now I'm 37." And they're like, "Wow, but you really still look like you're in your 20s. And why did you look like you were 40 something?" Because they literally put makeup in the wrinkles and crevices to make me look older and
To give you,
weathered,
yeah, too, yeah.
because my counterpart played on camera looked my age. And you can't play my stepson if we look like we're 2 years apart from each other. It's just very strange. So
Yeah, you're right. This isn't Arkansas, so yeah.
so right. So in that case, I decided to take hold of my career and say, okay, I'm stepping back from studio work for a few years. I'm going to work on my brand, because I don't feel like when I look like a MILF, I'm happy to take the title. But for now, I still fall into that Angela White. She's hot, but I don't know how old she is, but she can be, in any role. I'll stay in that category, and not that I put myself in the same category as Angela White. That is a goddess, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get
Um,
you.
as far
Well,
as
and
branding
and and
goes,
and,
yeah.
and to be fair, after you are, have went off to your reward and
Mhm.
have been dead and buried for about 20 years, you're still not going to be like Angela White, who's still going to be winning awards even after
Yeah,
she's dead
yeah,
50
Yeah,
years from now.
she is, and that always.
yeah,
That's like that. There's that porn inside joke. Like Angela White could not work for like 2 years. She's still winning every award. I love it.
yeah. There are
Yeah,
performers that are like that.
yeah.
Abella Danger, she's been retired and
There you
she
go.
wins awards. Yeah.
Yep. There you go. Very good. Very good
Mhm.
point. No, and I think that kind of coming back to you. I'm going to pull one thread on what you just said. Like you talked about, hey, you stepped away for a little bit. All right. The studios are definitely shooting me as XYZ. We talked about pigeonholing. So you kind of took control. You seized yourself. You seized your brand and your opportunity to take what you were doing and go into the realm you wanted to. So I wanted to say kudos to you for saying, hey, you know what? I'm
Thank you.
taking control of the brand. I'm taking control of who I am, and what I represent. So bravo to you,
Thank you. Well,
Carmela.
this really, the industry has taught me to have a backbone. It's taught me how to be a woman. I'm very grateful for it, because not only did it teach me about my own femininity, it taught me how to be a girl's girl, how to stand up for myself, hold to my ethics, morals, principles. Um, and it's also taught me that, you know what, I don't always want to be with the crowd on everything. Sometimes they're on the wrong side of history.
This is actually very true. Very, very true indeed.
Yeah.
So Giovanni, any more questions here, and anywhere you want to pivot with Carmel?
Well, I actually
Please
I did
pivot me.
I do love to pivot. I want to know, and I again apologize for being a little bit, but Carmela, what are you looking at for what do you envision your 2020? So you seem like a goal oriented person. What are you envisioning for yourself for 2026? How do you see your career path playing out as we move into the new year?
I think this year might be the year that I slowly make my way back towards mainstream, now that I have a little bit more control over my brand, over the narrative and directive. I think I'm ready to take a step back into it, while still maintaining what I'm comfortable with. I'm going to continue with my content, and I have a really big project I'm working on, and I can't really talk about it too much, but you guys have been getting previews of it, and you can see where I'm going towards it. If you follow my Twitter very closely, you'll see where I'm heading with it. With that, I can't really say anything else other than it's going to include some of my favorite people in this industry. So,
Well, I can definitely tell. Yeah, I think we know where you're going because, if you're not following Carmela on X or Twitter, whatever Elon is calling it this week,
yeah,
it's Carmela underscore Clutch, correct? That I believe that's correct. So Carmela
that's
Yes.
underscore
correct.
Clutch. Yeah, everybody needs to go ahead. Make sure you follow her. Hit that QR code with the funny looking duck in the upper left hand corner of your screen, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you playing the home game, and the duck will take you to Carmela and all wonderful things. I actually do like how, by the way, I wanted to congratulate also. I love that you use a very beautifully succinct and very direct way on your tweets. Like there was the one with it was you Josh Rivers, and God, there was one more. Who was the girl?
Ashlyn Peaks.
There you go.
Ashlyn Peaks.
Okay,
Yes,
okay, okay.
my
The way
favorite
you
person in the world.
the way you wrote, and I think that people could take a master class from you on how to make the tweet just knock it out of the park. It was like a
Thank you.
short. It was like a short tweet. It was like this video is whatever. You just 6 words,
Mhm.
and then the little, of course, the requisite emoji that we have to have with the water splashy.
Yeah.
And you just put your stars in it, and then you had the video. I gotta say, congratulations on like short forming the tweet, because those are the ones to me that kind of like those will get my attention more. It
Quick,
wasn't like a
attention
long rambling.
grabbing.
Yep.
It has the stars in it, so you know where to find their work, and like it gives you a summation of the debauchery that was going on, the
Well, I think it comes.
sexities, if you
I can
will.
actually can tell it kind of comes from your heart too, because I mean the other thing too. Thank you for not over hashtagging it. I gotta applaud you for that. Didn't hashtag gooning, hashtag simp, hashtag hotties forever or something like that. I mean, you just went
Oh my
straight
gosh,
into the
were
yeah.
they? Yeah, no. Again, a big shout out to Samantha. She's on my team, and she kind of proofreads everything I do. So if there is a couple of extra ones in there, she's like, "Hey, we're gonna just take those out." I'm like, "Okay, cool. You know what's going on. I don't. I'm old, so all right, thanks." But
Love it.
she really does help with that. Yeah,
No, and great work all around. Great work
thank you.
all around.
I,
Jiggy,
I
back over
I've
to you.
said it. I've said it a few times because I do this thing every so often where I call it coffee with clutch, and I answer questions, and I say it all the time. I'll say it again. I'm nothing without my team. What you guys see is the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of work that goes underneath and behind the scenes just to make sure that I am able to focus on being the performer. So without my team and my fans, I wouldn't be here.
Bravo. Well stated. And I'm glad you
Thank you.
said team. That's something that we always like to make sure that we, definitely like to wrap ourselves around the mantra of teamwork.
Absolutely.
As corny as it sounds, and I say it all the time, meanings teamwork does in fact make the dream work. So I
It
totally,
does.
totally with you on that one.
Uh, they say if you want to go fast, go by yourself, but if you want to go
Go
far, go with the
far, go
team.
together. Yeah, go together. That's
Yes.
right. And I have said that in meetings many times.
Yes, I have heard that many a times.
Yep, I
He's
had
like, I've
poor Jiggy has
scribbled it
here.
down at the meeting.
Yeah, I get it. The other
Well,
one
I
the other one I'm
love.
infamous for is like if something's always a problem and we're keep trying to fix it, I go, you know what? Just get rid of it. Take the ice pick out of your ear and
Yep.
just get rid of it. Yep. Yeah. Take the ice pick out of your ear, get rid of it. There's no need for it. You got to keep revisiting the same topic. And, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, trying to
And
get the different
expecting
result.
a different result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Carmela, before we let you go, because our next guest is going to be with us here in just a few moments, how do we find you online, buy your stuff, all these various things?
Honestly, go to my IG. It is a verified profile at Miss Carmela Clutch, MissCarmelaClutch. I go live there. I answer questions every so often, and all my links are in my bio. You can find me there. I'm always in my DMs.
So hold up, you're able to get away with all that on IG. You have so you just said, did you say Instagram or Twitter? What did you say, Insta?
That was Instagram. I answer questions, kind of similar to these. A lot of them do lean, sexual because they're
Right.
the fans that get to ask them. You can directly speak with me. It is my profile, and it is a quick little thing. I call it Coffee with Clutch. It
I
is
love
the
that, by the way.
predecessor to a future show that I will be doing, but I'm just trying to see how I can fare with crazy questions thrown at me. But Coffee with Clutch, IG. You can find all my
You ever
links
need
there
any
in my
help with
bio.
that? Let us know.
Let us know. We'll,
You
we'll be happy
know,
to throw on there and get all crazy and ask some good questions and get you pivoting away, young lady.
I would absolutely love your advice if we can touch base after this. I would really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
We're here
Yes.
for you. That's what we do for a living. Absolutely.
Well,
Thank you.
Carmela, thanks for making some time for us. I really appreciate
Indeed.
Thank
everything
you
that you
guys.
do, and I think it's funny that we all have PTSD from
Oh my
something
God. Yeah,
that we
that.
all can share in
Oh,
that.
But I'm still
we
a
all can
Uh,
whole
laugh
man.
about it
I'm a
now,
whole
right?
man. I'm a whole man, everybody. But I'm still good.
He's driving
Still
home
here.
that point.
Yep, that's right.
well, Carmela, thank you. I really appreciate it, my friend.
I appreciate it. I
Appreciate you
love
too.
you.
Thank you
That's
guys so much
awesome.
for having me on. Thank you for your questions and your time. And I hope you guys have a great Sunday fun day. And
Will
happy
Definitely.
do.
holidays.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Happy